Come one, come all. It is the Dream League Season 7 Grand Finals. We have already made our way through not one, but 2 games, and this could be it. Planet Odd versus Team Liquid. Planet Odd now have secured their second win. This one a bit more convincing than the first game. And welcome back my panel now. We have Cap, we have Merlini, and none other than Slacks himself. Gentlemen, this could be it. One more win, and suddenly we have a new Dream League champion. Is it going to happen that way, Slacks? Liquid looked pretty down. What do you think?
Very well could. I mean, Liquid knows how it feels to be on the other side of the coin now. They're about to get 3-0'd. You just can't give Resolution the anti-mage, ever.
Yeah,
he will
really
destroy you.
And Resolution played so good in that game. Like, if you watch his movement, like he played, you remember that Roshan standoff? It was like 5-6 minutes long that they were just both kind of like standing around that pit area. Resolution's pushing out top. You know, Liquid were responding in the right way. They weren't over-committing. They kept putting like GH on the Slardar. He'd like sprint up there. He'd deal with the creep wave just enough to be able to get it moving forward, and then he'd join his team again to make sure there wasn't any sort of like smoke rotation or Roshan was starting anything like that, right? So they were kind of always prepared for the engagement, but Resolution just kept on reading exactly what Team Liquid was doing, kept optimally split pushing exactly the right amount, had some pretty sick like small mechanical plays like that Manta dodge on the Slardar stun. But I think overall he just like read the game perfectly.
Yeah. When we look at both those games, game 1, absolute bloodbath, both teams running at each other, and game 2 was really a modification off of that game. The positioning from both these guys, they were very careful, but it's that, you know, it took a lot to be able to kill anybody. They were constantly running, and that's what made Resolution get so far ahead, because he was able to split push.
Moon Meander had an excellent game as well. These team fights, Moon Meander was doing so much work in the early game, and then Saksa had some amazing ultimates. I mean, we were talking about how like Cold Embrace, you can't really use it too well in this game, but he made the most out of his ultimate in almost every single engagement. I think that in these sort of engagements, we're seeing plays from these players from Planet Odd. Like we're seeing performances by Moon Meander, by Weehaw, I would say even Saksa, performances that we haven't seen all year long. You know, this is supposed to be, they were second at TI, right? This is a squad that's supposed to be like super good, and they just were subpar for most of the year, and all of a sudden they're just going off.
What is it, Ben? What is it about it? Is it being able to jump into a series and have that we don't really care attitude just suddenly makes Dota players play so well, a la Planet Odd now and maybe Virtus Pro at Summit, or is it something else?
It might be. I think there's that philosophy, and there's other philosophy where they're out of TI, and they're like, now we have something to prove that you mentioned earlier, but we don't exactly know for them, but regardless, they are playing amazingly right now, and I have to give credit to Slikes. Like, never bet against Rezo AM. You're like an idiot savant sometimes. Like,
hey, you didn't have to put the idiot in there, but
you're just a savant.
Thanks.
Like, a meme savant.
Well, you know, you talk about like how it's been so long since we've seen them play before and like this. And I have to say, I haven't seen them play since they were DC in ESL Genting. In the finals, same kind of deal. They're underdogs again. They're going against a strong team, but these guys thrive off that pressure. That's when they have the confidence to do whatever they want. They don't care. They will pick anything. AM third pick, who cares? Let's do it. Balls to the wall action. That's how they win these games.
Is it pressure or is it lack of pressure? Which one is it? Because isn't qualifiers pressure?
Yeah. But at the same time, I told you before when this started, th've been saving strats for TI8, all right? That's not pressure for them.
I think what you're saying is they're best when they're not on top, right?
Right.
They have something to prove, right? That was their TI run, something to prove.
Yes.
So now
they were literally like a group of just rejects, right? That's what they were. They were pretty much rejects, except for Resolution, who rejected TIS region. Like, they were mostly the ones who got kicked, and they
little rascals. They scrapped them together, and it's like one of those powerhouse teams that you get to see all their individual talents just really shine. We actually have our MVP vote as decided by you watching at home. We'll just see how wrong you are.
Hey!
Weehaw has earned the vote from the people watching at home, 39% for them. I don't know, Resolution 17%, that anti-mage, you know, the tried and true, was able to kind of put the team up on his back. I'm happy to see no one, though, gets 0%. Everyone gets at least a little bit of love.
Yeah, sure. Well, you know, I have to agree with the chat there. I mean, it was either going to be hit or miss, and sometimes it's a little random. So the 17% on that anti-mage makes a lot of sense to me.
That was
that a stretch?
That was a bit of a stretch.
I thought it was good. Am I still savant?
We've been praising a lot of Planet Odd.
Some kind of
our
savant, right?
But let's talk a bit about Liquid here. Obviously, seems to be a bit of a cloud there. Obviously a little down, probably not expecting to be in this kind of position where they're now 0-2. As Kuro had said here on the panel, as GH had said in the interview, they're here to win. So what does Liquid need to do to just get a win in this grand final and stay alive?
Let's review the Game 2 draft. They went Shadow Shaman first and gave up Earthshaker. And Earthshaker, Moon has just been on fire on that hero. Okay, I don't think you give away the hero and get that in return. I think if you could keep her a Wisp, yeah, that's fine. I don't think you give away Shaker. And then, secondly, they had a strat that kind of went every which direction too. They were like, okay, we want physical damage with the Slaughter, but then like, okay, we want pure damage with the OD because we kind of need to deal with the anti-mage. And then they're like, okay, we're going to go Elder Titan too. So it was a lot of mix of things, whereas Planet Odd, they're like, okay, we're going to make space for Rezo. Rezo's going to get big, and we're going to win the game. That's simple. That's easy to execute. You're not going too fancy. And then thirdly, I think Matumba Man is playing Viper and Venomancer. Yeah. These are not his bread and butter heroes that he has been playing for them to get to this point.
Yep. I think that Planet Odd are also playing very well against those kind of heroes. I think, for example, in this game 2, you saw this Venomancer. It's not a hero that's very easy to challenge. So what they did is they just said, okay, we're not going to challenge it at all. We're just going to make sure that this aggro nonsense that's happening from Team Liquid, we're going to stop that. We're actually going to win Animage his lane when he's supposed to be the one that's being pressured, right? And a Venomancer, like that's the thing. You contest a Venomancer, he's usually going to get what he wants anyway. Yeah. So there's not a big difference between the contested Venomancer and the completely uncontested Venomancer who's kind of like free farming. And, you know, he's going to kind of free farm and he's going to push down that tower either way. So what they did is just they made the best of the other laning situations. You've got a somewhat farmed Venomancer, but isn't going to impact like a hugely amount, especially against this Resolution Animage, right?
Yeah.
Who's very good versus Venomancer in the teamfight scenarios, but is also good at being able to stay away from the teamfights in the early part of the game and kind of just split push and keep things apart.
I think you guys make fantastic points, especially with these heroes that we've seen only kind of be popular in this tournament. It's time to go back to your roots on Liquid. I want to see some Lycan Darkseer combo. Give Matumba Man things that get in people's faces and have a way to get out. That's what he's best at. No more spitty snakes. The snake time is over. The dynasty is dead. Let's move on.
And we were talking a lot about Liquid yesterday at the start of the event. It was a lot about, are they not picking to win, but playing to win? And I wonder if it's just kind of come around to the point where it's like, okay, you can't get by with that anymore. It got you through day 1 and even got you through that first series matchup against Planet Odd. But at this point, yeah, kind of like what Slacks is saying, you might have to go to the old tried and true. But I don't know if in Liquid's mind, they're like, this is stuff we want to hold out for the big show.
Okay, guys, let me give you a hint here. Matumba, if you're scared of picking Lycan because you think people might ban it against you, we all know, bro, okay? Bring out the Lycan, baby boy.
I'd be okay with them taking the Animage on the side of Liquid, actually.
Yeah.
Doing the Animage Darkseer that they did, where it was very like teamfight-oriented Animage that got up in your face a lot.
Yeah, we talked a lot about that earlier, that Animage would be the hero to watch in this series, because both teams love it so much. So you think that it's a possibility?
Yeah, I think they should just drop more teamfight.
I don't really want them to pick anti-mage.
I'll throw out a random.
You want Resolution to have it?
No, I just don't think they're. I think they played it a lot yesterday, and they have better strategies. Like, for example, I think if we were playing at 100% yesterday, they would have won the games versus the anti-mage. And I think today he's proven that he's on top of his